Ethereum continues to play around between $2,000 and $2,500, but something extremely interesting has just been printed on the charts. And in today's episode, we're going to look at the latest Ethereum chart to see exactly this pattern and what I think is going to happen with it. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos on Ethereum as well as other cryptocurrencies. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Ethereum as well as the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Without further ado then, let's jump into the charts for today. So if you watched yesterday's video, we saw when the area was down at this point here at around the $2,400 level, I said that if it wasn't able to bounce back up, it would likely take a drop to the downside. But as you can see, it found a good level of support here around the $2,180 level. And what's actually really interesting to see is actually perhaps we looked a bit early with regards to our ascending triangle. However, if you move this line where we can see this touch point back here from that initial drop, again a couple of touch points here, although it did break through and fake us out and then move back up, and then we found again good levels of support here. It looks like actually this is a far bigger pattern than we originally noticed. Okay, so what does that mean for us? If we continue to be able to hold above this line and we can see a break back up towards the upside, which obviously will need some momentum from buyers, and at the weekend it does tend to be a little bit slower, so don't expect necessarily this to happen overnight, then we could either come up and break out here potentially, or we could see a rejection and then it will probably come back down and we might see a breakout here. Now the last time we saw a pattern unfolding a bit like this, I just want to sort of show you over here, we had a very similar pattern unfolding, although slightly sort of smaller, and you can see exactly what happened here, where we kind of came down, we broke and we bounced around the bottom here before coming up, breaking out, retesting, and then moving all the way up to the upside to our sort of $4,500 Ethereum high. So it's very interesting to see whether at the moment we can maintain our position within this pattern. In terms of taking trades right now, I'm still sort of sitting on the sidelines to see whether we can bring our way back up towards this level, in which case I'll be looking to long it. And obviously if we come back down and we break out, I'll also be looking to short it. In terms of a breakout target then, where we would take the pattern, obviously we looked at this yesterday, but now we're actually looking at a slightly different one, being that it's obviously a bigger pattern. In terms of if we were to break potentially back to the upside, and if I was actually to straighten out this line, you can see actually it comes pretty much back up towards the $3,800 level, okay, which is still within this big range which we've been working in for the last sort of three to 4 months or so. Obviously as well, there's still a downside potential, being that we haven't broken out of this ascending triangle pattern at the moment. I do expect it to perhaps take a little bit longer within this pattern, so if it was to break back up, there's no guarantee that it's going to break out the top. It could always be rejected and bounce back down, but it's very positive to see that we're putting in these higher lows each time, and that's quite bullish in my opinion. And as you can see, the bottom of the trend line again has offered us good levels of support when it was breaking down yesterday. But if we were to see a bearish fall, then we would potentially come down to around the sort of $1,500 level. Now obviously nothing is guaranteed. Even once a breakout happens, there's no guarantee that it will make it to either of these targets. But as you can see, this kind of confluence here between the sort of breakout point and the top of the range here actually looks quite interesting in my opinion. So it'll be very interesting to see. And if we move over to the Bitcoin chart, we can see something very similar happening. Now obviously a slightly different triangle in that this is a symmetrical triangle rather than the rising wedge. Again, we had yesterday a come down and we touched, this is on the 4-hour chart, so a good sort of 12 hours or so ago, we came down and had a touch at around the $33,200 level. And as you can see at the moment, we're moving back up towards the upside. Obviously a bit of a, you can see at the moment there's a fairly substantial line here of resistance because in the past it provided good levels of support here, eventually breaking through, sort of offered us a bit of support here again, then more support, and now obviously you can see this red candle being put in here, showing that there's still a good deal of resistance at this level. So we may be moving sideways for a few more hours, maybe a bit further, which will then help us to see whether or not we're going to start moving back towards the top side of this pattern or down to the bottom side. Coming over to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, you can see obviously since this low we have started to put in slightly higher lows, and the 200 moving average is provided good levels of support here. Okay, so since then we've also broken through the 50, so it will be interesting to see where we meet up perhaps with the 100, and that could provide us potentially with a bit of resistance. Things are looking a little bit more stable than they were perhaps yesterday, where we were teetering around the bottom of that original rising wedge for Ethereum US dollar as well as Bitcoin. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. Now obviously, as I've mentioned, you've got two potential targets that are waiting to play out, but it could be a bit of time, bearing in mind these are the 4-hour charts and things do move a bit slower over the weekend before we see things happen. I don't believe that we're going to see particularly big moves within the patterns until we see a breakout. Once we do see breakouts, I'll be looking for volume, and if we have good levels of volume to confirm the breakout, then that's when I'll be looking to open, whether that be a long trade if we're going to break out the top, or a short trade if we're going to break out the bottom. Otherwise, we can often get faked out, and this does tend to mean that it comes back and will often hit our stop loss. Now guys, if you're already holding Ethereum or Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, I really recommend going over to blockfi.com. I'll leave a link in the description. The reason for that is you can earn up to 8.6%, which is paid monthly, whether that be in Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollar, Tether. There's various other cryptocurrencies available on there. And if you use the link down below, you can get a bonus when you head over there. So it's, if you put in between $100 and $250, you'll get $15. So for $100, that's pretty much 15%, which is a pretty good return. And obviously, the more you put in, you potentially can make up to $250, all paid out in Bitcoin. As well as that, the interest is paid in the cryptocurrency. So for example, if you're holding Ethereum, you'll get paid interest in Ethereum, and that's really beneficial because actually it compounds. Each month you're getting paid, and then you're earning interest on that interest that you've accrued over that month. It's a New York-based company. Is already backed by some of the biggest names. Galaxy, you can see here, the Winklevoss Capital, Coinbase, etc. So it's an extremely big company, and in terms of sort of risk, etc., this is something I look out for to make sure that there's limited risk exposure for us. They also offer crypto-backed loans, which allows you to hold your crypto and take loans against it. Should you be in a market where you're expecting Bitcoin to be flying up and you don't really want to sell it, but you perhaps need a bit of cash for something, you can use that Bitcoin and you can take a loan against that in cash, and it's paid at an interest rate of around 4.5%, which is quite low. And also this is for 12 months. So potentially a good opportunity for you, considering, in my opinion, that the bull cycle is not over and there is lots of things still to wait for. Also, the trading fees you get there are super low as well. So in my opinion, if you're going to hold and you're looking to just hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. for an extended period of time, then jump on over to BlockFi and secure this bonus payout to make the most of the opportunity. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. Just a really quick update on Ethereum and what I see unfolding. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all the latest happening in Ethereum as well as the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.